I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician, and today I'm going to be telling you about a very common cause of neuropathy that is also very commonly missed by doctors because they don't check the correct labs. If you've been told nothing can be done about your neuropathy, then you might want to watch this video until the end, because this simple fix might be just what you need. One of the most common and easily fixed causes of neuropathy is a vitamin B1 deficiency. Vitamin B1, also called thiamine. Thiamine is needed for hundreds of different things in your body, but one of the main things it does is it helps the little nerve endings in your fingers and toes and other places metabolize glucose so that the nerve can work optimally. And if that's not happening, voila, neuropathy. When your B1 is chronically low, these little nerve endings become starved for energy, and then you get the tingling, burning, numbness, poor balance, feeling like something's in your shoe when there's nothing in your shoe, and it'll eventually lead to permanent nerve damage if you don't catch it and fix it. So the important thing to understand is that your body doesn't really store much thiamine at all. Usually about a 10-day supply, 25 to 30 milligrams total. Most of it's stored in the muscle, a little bit stored in your organs, and a tiny bit other places. If you don't eat vitamin B1 rich foods for 5, 10, 15, 20 days, you can become vitamin B1 deficient and start to suffer from a neuropathy that your doctor can't figure out the cause of. This is why dietary habits and then certain medications that you can take that either deplete your vitamin B1 or prevent you from absorbing vitamin B1. It's very important to know these things, and I'm going to talk about all of that in this video. First of all, let's talk about medications that can block vitamin B1 absorption. And you might think these are weird, rare medications, but they're actually some of the most common medications that people take in modern society. Diuretics, especially loop diuretics like furosemide or Lasix, bumetanide, diuretics like that can severely restrict your body's ability to absorb and retain vitamin B1. It can also increase your body's propensity to flush out the vitamin B1 prematurely when you still in fact need it. Another type of diuretic that can do the same thing, not quite as bad as the loop diuretics, is the thiazide diuretics, the most common being HCT or HCTZ. These do effectively the same thing. You wind up urinating out your vitamin B1 even though you might be deficient in needing it. Another very common medication that millions of people are taking that can cause you to flush out your B1 prematurely is metformin or glucophage. Yeah, that metformin. It can actually make you prematurely urinate away your vitamin B1 even though your body needs it. Now, one very common medication that can decrease your body's ability to absorb vitamin B1 is the proton pump inhibitors like Nexium, Prevacid, Prilosec, and others. They lower your stomach acid a lot, and that changes your body's ability to absorb vitamins from the food that you eat. This is not a prescription medication, but I think it maybe should be, and that's alcohol. Anytime you're drinking lots of alcohol, that's going to decrease the amount of available vitamin B1 that your body has access to and is able to use. Now, there are a few things in your diet that can decrease your body's ability to absorb and utilize vitamin B1, aka thiamine. The most common two, coffee and tea. They actually have tannins in them which will bind to the thiamine, making it unabsorbable. Now, if you have your morning coffee or you have your tea, that's not going to block 100% of the thiamine. Where this is going to come into play is if you're eating a relatively low vitamin B1 diet, and then you're drinking lots of coffee on top of that. Another very common cause is eating a diet that's too high in carbohydrates. Thiamine is required for carbohydrate metabolism, and if you're eating too many carbohydrates, you're going to need a higher supply of thiamine in your diet. And again, if you're eating kind of a lowish thiamine or B1 diet, you're just not getting enough thiamine to start with. Now, later in this video, I'm going to tell you the foods that contain the most thiamine, and then also I have another video that goes into even more detail about that. Alcohol blocks the absorption of vitamin B1, and it also increases your urinary loss of vitamin B1. Chronic alcoholism is a classic cause of neuropathy. It can be a B12 problem, a B6 problem, or a B1 problem. Next is a low magnesium diet. If you're just not taking in enough magnesium, that can make you effectively vitamin B1 deficient, even if you're getting enough vitamin B1 in your diet, because you have to have adequate magnesium in order to properly metabolize and utilize vitamin B1. Now, two kind of less important, but you just need to be aware in case you're overdoing either one of these things. Raw fish and raw shellfish, they actually contain an enzyme called thiaminase, which destroys thiamine. This does not mean that if you have some sushi or sashimi or you have some raw oysters that now you're vitamin B1 deficient. You're already eating a low vitamin B1 diet, and then you fall in love with sashimi and you're eating it every single day. The thiaminase in the raw fish can lead to you developing a vitamin B1 deficiency. And then the final one is anything that contains lots of sulfites, like wine, dried fruits, prunes, raisins. Some processed meats will have some sulfite, and then some salad bars use sulfite as a preservative. And again, this is if you just have a glass of wine, that's not going to make you have a B1 deficiency. But if you're having a bottle of wine that's high in sulfates every night, and you have a relatively low B1 diet, then you could develop an effective B1 deficiency. Now, also a final note for anybody with ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, or IBS, IBD, chronic diarrhea and chronic malabsorption can lead to either a real vitamin B1 deficiency or an effective vitamin B1 deficiency. So keep that in mind as well if you have one of those diagnoses. Now, what are the classic symptoms of having low B1 leading to a neuropathy? So it's tingling and burning in your feet. It's numb toes or tingly, prickly, numbish toes or fingers. And it gets worse at bedtime. Feel unsteady when you're walking on carpet, or if you're out walking in the yard or the garden or the lawn and you just feel unsteady, off balance a lot. That could be neuropathy. Along with the neuropathy of a B1 deficiency, you'll just have kind of chronic mild to moderate fatigue as well. So if you currently have neuropathy and you're like, oh my God, I want to see if it's a vitamin B1 deficiency, what should I do? Let's talk about that, because this is a very easy fix. So the best sources of vitamin B1 are basically any pork, like pork chops, any kind of pork that you're going to bake. That's the best way to cook the pork to keep the vitamin B1 content as high as possible. If you boil the pork, that wet heat is going to dissipate a lot of the B1. If you cook the pork at a really high temperature, if you cook your bacon low and slow, it's still going to be a great source of vitamin B1. Also, pork liver, trout, and tuna are pretty good sources of vitamin B1. We've actually seen vitamin B1 deficiencies in people on a carnivore diet who eat only beef or ruminants, beef, lamb, goats, and they never eat pork. It's not very common. It's rare, but we've seen that in probably 4 or 5 patients over the years. So take-home message is, if you have neuropathy, if you have any of those symptoms I talked about earlier, you need to consider a B1 deficiency. Now, I don't want you to say, oh my God, I need to go buy a B1 supplement right now. Don't do that. Just start eating vitamin B1 rich foods in your diet. I'd much prefer you get your vitamin B1 from foods than from a supplement. But if you just hate pork or it's against your religion, then you might need to buy a vitamin B1 supplement. I've got another video about the 7 vitamin B1 rich foods that's going to pop up right there at the end of this video. Check that out. This is Dr. Berry. I'll see you next time.